13 years old. I was born in Singapore and I've studied there so far. I have a twin sister and my family love traveling a lot actually, until COVID restrictions, of course. I love to explore different hobbies. I like cooking, experimenting with food generally. I also love swimming and gaming. And before COVID, I also used to play basketball.
I'm the Vice President of Salesforce and also the head of the Trailhead Academy team in APAC. And for those of you that don't know Trailhead Academy, it's basically the training arm of Salesforce, right? We look after training, skilling, certification arm of Salesforce, and we train customers, partners, and also members of the community. For the entire APAC, I'm based in Singapore. I love talking to people as well. And that's actually one of the reasons why I love this particular job, to interact with customers, partners, hearing what are kind of their concerns, and also seeing the lights goes up right in their eyes when they learn new things.
I actually started Trailhead in my summer holidays during June when I was doing an internship. So I actually did do the internship because I wanted to learn JavaScript and HTML. But I was in the internship for like only 2 months, and during the technical orientation, I heard about Salesforce. And I actually realized that in 2 months, I couldn't really do much in JavaScript and HTML. And in Salesforce, I could actually learn quite faster, as it's more low code and it's simple due to Trailhead. And I also do like doing stuff faster. So I decided to go with Trailhead, and I think it was the right decision because on day one itself, I was very excited. I learned a lot of new things, and I decided to pursue Salesforce. And in under 2 months, I became a ranger.
I feel really inspired, really. And yeah, I really look up to Rizul for being able to get a ranger within 2 months. I mean, I feel a bit embarrassed as well, the fact that I took over a year in order to achieve the same set of results, and you managed to do it in 2 months. But I also feel that people like Rizul has an amazing set of determination and passion. I mean, to be able to, at this young age, do a summer internship, to learn about JavaScript, HTML. I mean, such maturity, and it's just incredible to be able to meet somebody like yourself, Rizul. So I'm really proud to have to met up with a person like yourself.
I actually like Trailhead because it's really simplified. It explains like the purpose of every single feature in Trailhead, and then it'll also show like a real life example of that feature, and we never really miss out what we're learning about the feature. Also, I really love the challenges and point system. It makes the learning a lot more engaging, because just reading and reading does get boring eventually. So the fact that at the end of every piece of information that you learn, you have a quiz or challenge makes it more exciting, and it makes the experience more fun. I can relate to games when I do it, as there's a sort of progress system with Trailhead where you need to get certain ranks with the points you acquire from doing challenges and quizzes. When I was doing some of the harder challenges or super badges, I would encounter problems. However, I could generally just find the solution in the Trailhead community, as there's lots of questions asked there and lots of answers there too.
In fact, I think Rizul has proven a very important point to what we have tried to do all this time, which is that irrespective and independent of whether you have some Salesforce background in the first place, right, that you always be able to engage in the Trailhead platform and be able to pick up the lessons, be able to pick up new skills, right, irrespective of whether you have existing knowledge or not. And that is really important, because what we want to do is to help the ecosystem, the community of non-IT background, people from different types of diversity and different types of ethical backgrounds to be able to come in and learn Salesforce as well, right? Independent of whether you have technical skills or not, right? So long as you have that genuine passion, right, and determination, like what Rizul has demonstrated, that you ought to be able to learn the Salesforce technology through Trailhead.com, right, our e-learning platform. Good question. I guess theoretically, Trailhead is set up so that it is available for everyone, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age as well. But practically, if you ask me, who are the majority of the audiences, I would say that it's mainly people who already have an interaction with Salesforce, and with the Salesforce technology. So we're talking about working professions who are currently working with Salesforce directly or indirectly. That would be my answer, frankly, 7 years ago when it all gets started. If you ask me this question about, let's say, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, then I would also say to you that the second group of audiences would be school leavers as well, because what we have been doing since then is to roll out Salesforce technology, especially Salesforce, into school leavers so that we can help those people that's about to go out to the job market to find jobs, right, that is related to Salesforce, because there's a lot of jobs out there that require Salesforce talents. So that's what I would say. But now, obviously, I need to set a different you've just set a different expectation to myself now, that we have audiences that are as young as 13 years old. In fact, you know what, I'm really keen to interact with yourself, Peilai. Next year, for example, maybe you'll be able to impress me by telling me that, we've actually lowered the age now to something like 10 years old or something like that. But I'm constantly impressed by the fact that the age has not so much just gone lower, but it has excited and attracted a lot of people, right, of all ages, really. And because it is a e-learning system that is intended to be gamified, that is intended to help people to learn in a very nice, interactive way. And that's exactly what Rizul says. That's exactly how we've intended for this particular system to be.
Have been trying to do Salesforce admin certification. I did do an attempt earlier, however, I got 60% around there. And my actual dream is to someday become the Salesforce MVP. Maybe. So I'm currently aiming to do certifications to help me come closer to that goal. From the first attempt, I did become very familiar with the format actually, because of the style of the questions that are in the exam. I became a lot more familiar with Salesforce, how it works, lots of the features too. And I think I'll be more prepared for the next time I take the exam.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few thoughts on this particular point. First thing I would say is that remember Salesforce motto, which is always about learn, earn, and connect, right? So this is exactly what I'm hearing being repeated back to me, which is so satisfying from my perspective, that what Rizul has done is learn a lot of concepts and is gradually going through earning, and she's already gone through badges, super badges, and is hoping and aspiring to get a certification. And for him to even think about a career in Salesforce at the age of 13 is just unbelievable, really. It's amazing. It's unbelievable, because when I was 13, I can tell you now, I never had any career aspiration at that particular point in time. So again, this is just incredible. What I would say to people out there that is looking for careers, for example, in Salesforce, well, remember there's a few or certifications to help them to get the jobs in Salesforce. There's a few pointers. One is that Rizul and yourself, Peilai, has already touched on, which is to go through the super badges. The super badges are very useful. For start, it's free. right? Which means that you can go through them, fail a few times, and basically use it as a learning tool, a stepping stone for you to then climb up and understand and learn more. You want to go through ultimately the certifications, but remember that we also provide what's called the certification prep as well. And that is also free, right? And what the certification prep does is that it's, well, as the name suggests, it is there to prepare you, an individual, to know more about how to prepare and the study tips that you ought to be aware of when you're going for this type of exams. Right, so that's something that is always useful. Right? Talk to the community. Right, because we have a lot of community learners out there, and they have already gone through a lot of the different type of exams. And Taylor, you've already mentioned that, which means that you can get a lot of good tips from them as well. So I also want to hear what your strategy and your thoughts are on this point, because I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I tried to influence her with Trailhead, and that bombed out, that failed miserably. So love to hear your tips and advice, if you don't mind.
So I think it's actually possible to at least get everyone to try. Whether they continue is actually upon them. But I'd say I could get some of my peers to try. I feel like when it's related with some of their interests, like how I related Trailhead with gaming, about how I can make apps, which was my dream. I wanted to make apps and games. So after I related it with that, it felt more fun. So I think if you can relate it with someone's interests, it can actually get anyone's attention. And since Trailhead is so open and has many different topics, I think it's possible for everyone's interests, and everyone should at least try it once. So I'm not sure about my twin sister, but I can probably influence some of my peers. If we were to actually make a game, then you might also need some different Apex components, different apps, maybe. It would probably use some components like flows. The drag and drop feature just makes it feel more simple, compact, and a bit more sophisticated. Because when I think about it, to even you dragging and dropping one component is sort of like hundreds of lines of code going through that, which I find very amusing. And I feel like flows can actually be modified to however you want it. So they're really useful for every feature. It can take inputs, it can display different screens, it can automatically just take decisions from different reports, and there's lots of components in a flow that you can actually use, and it's not too hard to create one either. So with the different components and options, I think you can do almost everything with just flows. I think they're actually really good and they're very unique. I haven't seen anything like that actually anywhere. I've never even thought about it.
A few years ago, we have been trying to roll out the Salesforce technology, specifically Trailhead, across to different schools. We were successful in some countries, not that successful in others, and one of the primary reasons is whilst we're going through the discussion, COVID hits, right? And then a lot of things stops. However, happy to say that some of the colleges that we have been talking to and have been working with has been continuing the Trailhead technology, learning about Salesforce, and we eventually have put them into a connection with a lot of our customers for jobs and internships. So for example, in Singapore, we've been working very closely with Ngee Ann Polytechnics, right? So NP, and NP have been, in fact, been very close with us. We have over a decade of relationship with them, and they have incorporated Salesforce, specifically the Trailhead components, into one of their curriculum. And a lot of those students have actually found jobs within our Salesforce ecosystem. In Malaysia, we work with Taylor's University. In Thailand, we've just made an announcement where Salesforce will be teaching 100 students for free on admin, ad builder, platform developer one, course 3 courses itself, and it will be an instructor-led course, supplement with, of course, the Trailhead technologies, just so that you'll be able to not just learn the technology, but be able to get that opportunity to find jobs, right? Again, within our ecosystem of customers and partners. And this is basically what we want to do in Southeast Asia, to be able to go through the colleges. And one of the primary reasons why we want to do this, well, I guess it's 2 reasons. One is to help our future generations, our young generations, be able to get better jobs, better future, better lives, right? That's one. The second thing is also to help our customers and partners as well, to be able to identify the Salesforce talents that they need, because there is a big technical resource crunch out there, digital crunch out there, in that our customers and partners are telling us that it's really hard to find people with the right Salesforce background, Salesforce skill sets. So that's the other reasons why we're doing this. And on that note itself, I'd love to this is like a questions that I love the learners or the listeners of this particular Seed Dreaming to get back to us as well, because our intention is really to help the companies out there, the customers or partners, yourselves out there, to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So we have good intentions. We want to do this proliferation. It'd be great for you to provide us with the feedback to say, which country should we be approaching? What kind of courses? If you know of some customers or partners, or if you're working in one of them and you'd like to hire, then please reach out to us as well, because at the end of the day, we're trying to do what's right for you, our customers, our partners, our community as well.
My technique is just to follow Trailhead and set some sort of time-bound goals. Like, because of Trailhead ranks, this is really easy. Like, I could say I want to become an adventurer in, suppose, 2 weeks. And if I just follow that goal, then Trailhead can take care of the rest. And my advice would also be to follow specific trails related to the skill set that you would like to acquire. And this is also in Trailhead thanks to the trail mixes. For example, if you would like to go to admin, then there's a pre-made trail mix in Salesforce for admin certification or an admin skill set. Also, I feel like discussing with people in the community does help. You can find answers to many of your questions there, and they can help you too. So I did also connect with some Salesforce leaders and MVPs via LinkedIn. In Trailhead, there's already quizzes and challenge at the end of every module or project, which is actually amazing. But I feel like at the end of every trail, there could also be some sort of specific question set to help revise the trail in a wholesome manner, rather than actually reviewing every single challenge or quiz in the trail. And this might help learning faster, and it's sort of a review tool to check if you remember everything.
It's really amazing to talk to both William and Rizul. Is there any last sharing, that you would like to share with our audience? Rizul, maybe you can go first.
So this session was actually very informative for me, as I do Trailhead and now I kind of know a bit on what goes at the back end, how it's actually done and what happens with Trailhead. And I kind of understand the main concept of Trailhead a lot more than I used to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad that you find the session is useful for you, Rizul.
Yeah.
Pass over to you, William.
Well, I've learned a lot actually from this particular session listening to Rizul. Yeah, Rizul, just want to say again, you're very inspiring. Love your passion, love your perseverance to go through and become Ranger within 2 months. Again, that is just inspiring. For the audiences out there, just want to remind you that Trailhead Academy is here to help you, to serve you. So if you ever have any particular questions, thoughts about anything, training, learning, certifications, etc., and want to share with us, feel free to reach out to any one of myself, my team members as well. We'd love to hear from you.